TM Global Media, going beyond borders.
Questions that I have, so many thoughts, so many ideas that are just flying through my mind. You know, I think of my life growing up in poverty, losing my mom to AIDS, being orphaned, so much about the reality of what I was born into could have determined who I could end up as. But none of that happened because of the power of education. And I think we learned about how that shows up in industry, how that shows up in particular in pretty much every job sector. But I think also what we're learning now is that in as much as education itself is such a transformative phenomenon, so is the times we're in, so is the ability to tap into digital, to tap into capacity building, to tap into upskilling. It's the ultimate equalizer. We're living in an age now, it doesn't matter much whose child you are or where you came from. Somebody can rise up overnight because they're an influencer, become a billionaire, and hire you and your whole generation and family. So thank you so much for that. It was really insightful. Earlier in this program, I spoke about the intention, the power of learning how to set an intention. I haven't forgotten, and I would actually like to hear about the intentions that you had set for yourself in the beginning of this program. Now that we are gearing up to open our Q&A section, where we will be discussing and sharing ideas and asking questions, I do want to say that iFundi is currently offering the Digital Master Skills is currently offering the accelerated certification in IT digital skills. If you go on our website, you can see that. So a lot of what Mr. Mpier spoke about, a lot of what Mr. Kitanga spoke about is great for us as HR managers, as business people to want to upscale our workforce. But if we have students here, if we have freelancers, if we have people, individuals in general, who are looking for affordable rates in order to keep up with these times, then we really encourage you to have a look at what we have to offer. We have specialties in data analytics, in robotics, in cybersecurity, machine learning, and cloud computing. Our academic manager, Mr. Joel Perry, will go into more detail right after our Q&A session. So I hope you guys are feeling fresh. I know it's been a lot of talking at you, and we're looking forward to hearing from you as well as our online community, how this experience is going for you. What questions do you have right now for our experts? These gentlemen are expensive, so might as well capitalize now that they're in the room. Get everything answered, ladies and gentlemen. When you stand up, when you want to speak, please raise your hand so that tech can be able to locate you. And our online community members as well, please raise a hand and Cynthia will be able to share your question with us. I would like to ask that you tell us your name, tell us the name of your company or organization. If you are here in J, just as you come up with the company name, make it real. When you leave here, go register it. Let's go. We are in the future. We need to make money. So even if you don't have a company, I need to hear a company name today. What is your learning intention? I mean, I came here because I wanted to learn X, or I came here because I'm thinking about Y, and the question I have is 1, 2, 3. So the floor, please, ladies and gentlemen, is officially open. Can we have questions? Dun, 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 dun. Yes, ma'am. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Fariba from iFundi, and I just wanted to know whether, John, could you just give us a couple of examples of your development work that you've done?
Fabulous
Just
question.
so that we get more context of what this is all involving.
Geez, sure, we've worked on a bunch of different stuff. I guess recently, this is one that we're pretty excited about, is we built basically an AI tutor on WhatsApp using a large language model, which is going to, okay, so we build an AI tutor on WhatsApp, and it's basically trained off the CAPS syllabus, so you're having grade 10s, 11s, and 12s actually use it, so they can use it to ask for, I guess, question papers and past papers, but then they can also use it to ask them for help with what's called studying for certain subjects. It's literally connected to the internet as well as the CAPS module, so they can ask the AI bot what is photosynthesis, and they can ask it for different ways of explaining it. And I guess later in the future we're going to be able to also integrate like localization in terms of like the languages, so that's pretty interesting. What else are we working on? We're building an Uber-like system for a client of ours. They're a big car rental company. So if somebody wants to, but it's mainly for kind of the high net worth individuals, they can actually order the car and then somebody would come in and deliver it to them, and then I guess they can take the keys and drive it. They can also hire security with it as well. There's a lot of stuff we're working on.
That's really impressive. Thank you, Mr. Kitenge. I can imagine having to go on a date and it's like, no, don't pick me up, send me a car. I'll order one. Well, I think as we are gathering our questions on the floor, I'm going to pick someone in the audience, not to ask a question to us, but for us to ask you a question. It seems really simple, but these things matter when we have to think about the sort of programming and educational content that we create for the individuals we care about. Can someone in the audience tell me very simply, why do you get up every day and come to work? Please, ma'am, tell us your name, your organization, and what drives you to show up so beautifully as you have today.
Hi everyone, I'm from a company called Master Skill, and I get up every morning to go to the office and to help my clients just to reach the goals that they want to achieve with their training with their students. So for me it's just giving customer service and making sure the students receive their ebooks on time for the training.
Thank you so much. We truly appreciate you're making a difference in students' lives, and those are the same people we care about, them being able to access what they need to be future ready. Thank you so much for your contribution. Sir, the question is, what are some of your biggest concerns regarding how you might be showing up in the workforce versus what your career is demanding of you right now? Please tell us your name, your organization, if you will, and what your learning intention was for today.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Paduri. I'm the Institute Registrar and HOD ICT, iFundi. The career is nowadays it challenges qualification. It's okay, but when you working, either you are doing work in different companies, you should have a skills the current market. You must try to learn You can't maybe I studied maybe 10 years back. I don't want to do anything. You can't say like that. If you are 30 or you are 40 or 60, you must learn skill, current market, and you have to challenge to the market. So you have to upgrade skills every day. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, sir. And I hear that we have some questions online. All right, I'm going to pass the phone to Miss Cynthia, who's going to share the questions with the room.
Okay, we have one participant here that wants to know what is the importance of learning or teaching young people how to code? And that question can be answered by any one of our speakers.
Thank you so much. So the question is, what is the importance or significance of teaching young people how to code? I think it would be good if we hear briefly from both speakers, because I think both industries have young people. There's upskilling. So we'll start here and then make our way over to John. Coding, digitization, what's the significance? Thank you.
The significance it's huge. It's important to learn how to code. For instance, I also facilitate some young people, and I'm pushing them to go digital and learn how to code. So coding, I would say, it's utmost important that you do know how to code, because you are self-sufficient when you know to do things yourself. I'll put it that way.
Fabulous response. Thank you. So self-sufficiency, independence, very powerful skill sets. Mr. Kitenge?
Okay, cool. I think it's, you know how like some people make their profession their personality? I guess like learning how to program rewires your brain to think a certain way, makes you more of a problem solver. So even if they don't ultimately pursue a career in programming, but I guess the skills that you learn from that can be transferred to any other, I guess, context. Yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you. So what we're learning is you are actually your biggest investment. So any form of education changes you. I apologize to our CEO. He did have his hand up, but I wanted to address the room so that he doesn't think we're not doing our job. Mr. Lauber has a question for us. Sir?
I'm interested to hear best practices of how the HR/learning department can work together, the IT department. I would also ask that especially our two practitioners here, you would have had experiences where things went well and when they didn't go well, or also our online community. There will be many of you working in large companies. Are you on two different planets, as I earlier said, or have you found a way to work together?
Thank you. Our two practitioners. Would you like the question repeated? You good? So we'll start this side and then bounce to you. Awesome. Mr. Kitenge?
Yeah, so I have to stand. Yeah, so I was just thinking I guess it has to be a proactive approach as opposed to just reactive. Okay, yeah, so it has to be a proactive approach as opposed to just being reactive. Oh yeah, we've got a need for these skills. We need to kind of encourage an environment where both sides are actually talking to each other and saying, all right, where do we see the world going? What skills do we think we need to actually upskill on, or what direction the world's going into? Because I guess tech people tend to be very curious people, and they spend a lot of their time and their life on the internet learning new stuff. So they see new technologies way before everyone else sees it. So I guess HR people will react to it, but then the tech guys are seeing it every day because I guess it's part of their job to actually know where the world's going. But no one really asks them. It's like, yeah, just code. But I don't think it's that way. I think trying to work with them and actually being proactive around having these conversations.
Thank you for that. And have you seen like success situations where that interface has been a success in your company, or maybe what situations has it been like obviously successful?
I don't have any like context, right? Like I don't have. We're a tech company, so we always on the forefront of everything. So, but if we had, let's say, a situation where we didn't have as many tech people, then we wouldn't be we wouldn't be trying out these newer technologies and these newer stuff, and we wouldn't really be thinking about it because everyone tends to get sucked into their day-to-day lives, and yeah, like work is stressful, but I guess there's people that are just naturally curious about it, and the reality, it's usually the IT guys, it's usually the programmers, it's the software engineers that actually want to do it. I think for us by default we have the curiosity built into us, but then we see sometimes a lot of organizations not adopt technologies or adopt technologies later on, and what you call this, by the time they adopted it, the market's moved and they actually just catching up.
Thank you for that response. Ms. Tempierre, your insight, please. Thank you.
I'll concentrate on the tracking space. It's a yes and no. We do have successes and we do have battles, like I indicated with the current client. But most of the time, it would be the drivers that we have an issue with. Because when you automate for drivers, for instance, because normally they are the ones who will be interfacing with the solution at the far end, inputting data, then it will filter to management, right? So the buy-in has to be from the drivers themselves. And normally the issue would be when it comes to their trip sheets. And trip sheets is how they get paid. And normally what happens is they fill in, they know themselves how many trips and so forth, what I loaded, and they are guaranteed so that I'm submitting my trip sheet. But now when you automate that particular process, the question is, will management edit what I need to earn? So convincing drivers and them understanding that this is to your benefit, normally that's where it starts, then to management. But unfortunately in the transport space, they have it's forced upon them to automate, unfortunately. We have a certification called the RTMS system. Basically, it's like your ICO 9000 within the tracking space. So it is incumbent upon trackers to automate this. There's no choice. Whether they like it or not, they have to adopt to change.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, for that insightful response. I think we have one more question. 2, 3, how many? Wow. Okay, this is good. We're cooking. Nice.
Hi everyone, my name is Faith. I am from iFundi. So this is for the infrastructure department and also logistics, right? So let's say you're introducing 4IR to someone that doesn't know anything about it, right? So how do you make them understand and that 4IR is very important? Let's say people from Marikana. It's from the rural areas. So they wouldn't understand the importance of it as much as you say that it would feel like it's taking their jobs. So how would you make them understand, and what are the tools that you will give them so that they can be able to understand that it's very important and it's very vital for their lives and for their future kids and all that, so that they can be able to grow themselves and also grow their kids and all that. Thank you.
Very good questions. Oh, I'm starting to feel a bit bad for our experts. We'll start with you, sir. Thank you.
You would be amazed. People do understand what 4IR is. So by virtue of talking to, let's say, a security guy or a driver, they know what's up. They know the internet. So convincing them that it's to their benefit, it's not an issue. It's just a matter of convincing them that it's not going to affect their work placement. But understanding what the needs are for the company, it's quite easy. They understand the vision for that particular company, that this is where they need to go. It's just to convince them and that they may understand that it's not going to affect their pocket. As long as you can make them understand that it will, if it's efficient, it will make their processes run well and it will not affect their pocket, then you're good to go.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kitenge. Any insights? Yeah?
Geez, I was gonna say, don't sell them on 4IR, because 4IR is a blanket term. Sell them on learning, just continuous learning, continuous development. And they should be good. But there's so many things that go into 4IR. I guess we interact with 4IR on a day-to-day basis. It's only kind of now where it's like, okay, there's a deep need for us to actually move into it. We've been talking about it for a long time. We've been interacting for a long time, but now it's actually becoming a really big thing as I guess the advent of AI is starting to kind of scare everyone. But yeah, just encourage people to learn.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for that insight. I think we had one more online question, and then we have some on the floor, just to include our community that is joining us virtually. Am I reading? Okay. Hi, I just want to know about how the guests feel about cybersecurity threats. Since these days, small businesses are being hacked a lot and private data is being shared. What the AI market is doing to improve this? What is the AI market doing to improve data security threats? Mr. Kateng.
I don't know what the AI market is. But cybersecurity, I guess it's getting built into all of our applications, I guess. And I guess you want to go with, if you're using a product, you want to go with the product that is reputable and has a good reputation in the market, and by default usually it would have good security, but you can also just vet it against that and do your own research, right? And there's a lot of public forums and comments that are put out on all of the different applications. But yeah, if you're a small company, you likely don't have your own system. So you're probably using third-party tools. So yeah, just go with the best ones that have a ton of good security.
Very insightful. Thank you very much. Do we still want to address, or have our questions been answered? Okay, so we're gonna take one. Oh, you have a microphone already. Okay, great. Please stand up and introduce yourself. You don't want to stand up? Okay. Then speak loud.
Hi everyone, Huiti from iFundi. I actually have two questions.
Wonderful.
The first one is, in the fourth industrial revolution, we fear that robots will take over our jobs. So how do we balance AI and manual work? That's my first question.
Mr. Mpia, I think you spoke to that, right? Around educating and learning and upskilling. Okay, we have an IT expert individual who is going to take this on. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I'll give the answer. Like, if robotics comes, maybe the taking job is not correct, because the robotics is working under data using technology. You know how to use the technology and how to apply. If you have a skills, still you have a job. If you don't know technology, your job can take the robotics.
I would like to add on top of that, there's quite a big warehouse company on the R21, huge company. So their warehouse is huge, right? And they use drones to check their stock. So literally, it's one individual who has sort of a block, and he operates drones. And at night, they automatically go up and check stock through the entire night. So previously, it was individuals counting, scanning each block, each row. But now you have drones, three of them. They literally, and it's one person who does this. And they've repurposed these other people to do something else. So literally, a person can learn how to operate drones and they have a job, literally. So it's exciting times.
Fantastic. So we're learning that when you upskill, you get to work with cool technology and be on the forefront. So the issue here is the mindset. that, oh, this thing has come to take our job, versus a learning growth mindset that says times are changing. I need to upscale. There are all these new devices that are going to help people in the market do things differently. What can I do to reposition myself and be in a better position to earn? Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think we have, oh yes, you did say you have 2 questions. All right, girl.
So my last one is there enough funding for all of this new tools, robots, this new AI that has been placed upon us? We were not ready for it, but is there enough funding in South Africa, and is government willing to fund all of this?
Or in terms of the public sector, to
Sector, yes.
train people who
Yes.
don't have access? Are there programs that are able to reach beyond the capacity of finances and reach people where they are? I think that's a question for iFundi leadership. I do know that today I'm also filling in the shoes of Didi, who is iFundi's in-house host, and he's on a bursary program, if I may mention. And it's so beautiful because he did such a phenomenal job hosting the event, and in exchange, he gets to get an education. So I think that's also a beautiful, groundbreaking way that iFundi is bridging the gap to say, what do you have? What are your born talents? And how can we interface that with the skill sets that you could give in exchange? So if I may, I'll give it to Ms. Fariba and then Mr. Stefan.
We do have the National Skills Fund, and we have seen in the past with the call center industry that when there's growth in industries, the government does come in with special skills development programs. So as 4IR is coming up, we can look forward and expect that government will be investing in skills development, as well as it will be upon the companies themselves to invest. We have the BBBEE skills development scorecard that each company, large company, needs to work within. So we work with companies, government, within these spheres to upskill people.
Thank you for that response. Mr. Lauber, any addition or in terms of government funding and accessibility?
I believe in a principle in life that is stand on your own feet. Whenever I have expected, hoped to get somewhere because somebody helps me, the end result is disappointment. So I do believe each one of us, that includes your children, must take responsibility for their own education. Invest in your own education. The same applies for companies. You can't wait till government wakes up one day and then hope to transform you. Life is far too fast, particularly today. So any company who waits for funding, by the time the funding comes, you're probably out of business. You may not be out of business, but you have lost a lot of ground. So my advice to everybody is simple: help yourself.
Scriptures do say God helps those who help themselves. And if you don't have the money, use your skills. If you don't have the skills, use your personality. Use your smile. Go on Instagram. Talk to people. Open your own doors. Thank you for that, Mr. Lauber. Yes, ma'am. Please introduce yourself and share your question.
Hi, I'm Nogukanya Makanya. It rhymes. So my question is, so we know that we're trying to push people to get digital knowledge, but also we have known, especially with AI, especially with large language models, that they have been known to hallucinate. That is, because they're trained on seeing patterns and etc., they can see patterns that actually don't exist, right? And how are we going to actually enable human beings to know that yes, it's a technology, but you as a human being still need to check the results that this technology is giving you, because sometimes the results that it is giving you aren't always 100% correct. This has been seen with ChatGPT, because it does do that, and a lot of people are kind of using it, right? And you still need to have that human intuition to say, okay, cool, is this something I should actually be using, especially if you're going to be introducing it within your business?
Very good question. How do we get people to take the agency of quality checking what these softwares are feeding us, so that we make sure that we are representing ourselves and our businesses in the right way? I don't know, I kind of get the hint that the person who has the answer is the person sitting next to you, kind of, you know?
Yeah, I guess you have to put, like, if you are going to implement AI or any of these kind of models, you do have to put processes together to ensure that you mitigate against the risk. I guess, and there should be probably a blanket way of applying it. So if you're saying we're going to use it in context of creating financial models, you have to create a repeatable process of how you should use that particular AI to handle that particular task, knowing that, okay, you will get the same result every time. But with that being said, the models are also getting better, so yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Only time will tell. Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are reaching the end of our program. Thank you for being such an incredibly engaging, interactive audience. I've never known technology to be this much fun.
TM Global Media, going beyond borders.